Okay, I'm um I'm curiously confused. The president actually signed the right to try into law or whatever that might be. Um, I have a question. Why is the military excluded from this? As a military soldier, if you get too badly sunburnt and you can't do your job, you've damaged government property. So shouldn't the same go that if you have a surgery and if a doctor prescribes you a really harsh narcotic that's probably not so called for, but it would be loved, does that change anything? Does that you're still hurting government property? A lot of people don't understand, or a lot of people don't yet know that the brain is a chemical object. You feed your brain by feeding your stomach. When you feed your stomach good stuff, your brain works with the good stuff, and it's shown. Oh, here's the goodness. But whenever you but whenever you eat a normal 2018 diet, it retards you. And I have no other better word to use than that. It makes you dumber. It makes you slower. It makes you less inept. It takes away drive. Like, I have a 9-year-old, and I am like torn, and I mean seriously torn on how to install drive. Whenever I was younger, I had an older brother that was there, and he was always, more, 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 and I just kind of followed along, which helped me, which also I found a lot of stuff that I'm not going to do. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like to do, and that's fine. Everybody should have their limitations. Everybody should have their stopping point. Not everybody should go, I'm open for everything. Um, I'm just curious. When is the double standards going to go away? Why? I would love for people to comment, like, do whatever, but I would love for someone to explain what artificial chemicals, sweeteners, and everything of the sorts, what it does to your body, what it does to your brain. You can act like this is an arbitrary thought, but again, I can give you one or two nutrients or lack of those one or two nutrients, and it'll completely change you. There's a lot of people that think this is bullshit. I've I don't even want to call it working out. I've been able to enhance my Sullivan Pilates, and I haven't been able to work out in almost 4 years, like a true breakout of sweat workout. And there's a lot of people that look at me and just go, "Oh, it's genetics. It's genetics." It's like genetically, I might have had a small upper hand. I might have, but I can show you family that came from the same wombs. Not that I came from, but that my mother came from, and you know, genetically, I think I'm doing the correct thing. And I don't mean genetically, I mean it's persistent. All those larger family members I have, they've cut certain stuff out, they started doing certain stuff, their entire bodies have changed. Their minds have changed, their focal points have changed. Everything has changed. And I'm curious. I'm curious when the lawsuits are going to be available and allowed, because I've spoke to a few people and I've been laughed at hysterically. I wish I had an accessible bottle of anything. Uh, Suntan lotion, sunscreen, bug repellent, um, any of that stuff. It says for external use only. Was this shit made in the 1910s? I realized Disney. Like, we went to Disney this past summer with my son, and I realized why I fucking hate Disney. It's not because a drink's $8 and a burger's 45. It's because that $45 burger is every part of life that I've fought for, fought against, fought. These people are growing garbage. Like, they might as well have big piles of Walmart tags full of shit that says, great value, non organic, here to poison you, because that's it. I went to Disney and was so fucking let down that every meal that I had to pay for that was more than $100 for three people for some lunch or some shit the entire time I was thinking, this is garbage. And I noted how my body felt. I noted what was changing in me. I could tell that my energies were going down faster. That I have family that are so logical, that are so, I'll have to say it like this, so ingrained in the doctrination of what's going on in this world, or what they think is going on in this world. There's a lot of history that's been covered up. There's a lot of stuff that has been silenced. There's a lot of things that just aren't allowed. We cannot allow a group of people to run over us. And I would almost prefer someone driving around trying to literally run over me than someone trying to drive around and sell something that's going to poison me. And I mean by poison me as in give me chemicals, give me something that my body cannot process. Lots of medicines also have awful chemicals. And this is I'm like one more conversation away going from Facebook and telling people what the whole anti-vaccination thing means. It doesn't mean don't do any vaccinations, people. It means why the fuck does my kid have to have 60? Why does my 9-year-old have to have fucking hepatitis B vaccination? I get it. It's a sexually transmitted disease, and it, to my knowledge, that one's not passed through sweat or anything. It's just an STD to a point. But a healthy body will push away almost anything. It can. I got bit whenever we first initially got our puppy. I was playing with him too rough, got me on the hand. I got like what it's called rabbit scratch fever, cat scratch fever, dog scratch fever. It's whenever a dog or a cat or something is standing in its own fecal matter and it scratches you and an infection presents. I got streaking all over my body. I was a nervous wreck. It lasted about 3 days. And then it all went away. I never got a fever. I never got anything. It just all went away. And I've looked into it, and I've talked to other people, and they say, some bodies do this. You know, your body don't push off gonorrhea or syphilis, but other things that can. And that's where we're at. Like my grandmother, and this is what kills me. I've argued with my brother. He's like, measles kill people. In other goddamn countries, in third world countries where you got the measles and you were fucking starving, yeah, you probably died. But here in America, we called it 3-day measles. All right? And I give a shit less what people try to argue about. I'm not saying don't do MMR. Rubella is crazy. That's the reason they threw in measles, mumps with rubella. So you have to get it. Fuck the measles. The rubella is what kills you. Polio is what kills you. There's about 4 to 6 vaccinations that are important, that made this planet. What we're doing now is vaccinating people with preservatives in them, and we're putting lead in them. Do you know what causes Alzheimer's? Because a huge portion of the studies coming out saying lead causes Alzheimer's. Lead causes a bunch of these issues. The link between autism at birth and what they're trying to say with the vaccinations is all these things are chemically changing brains. You're taking an infant. Why does it say don't put sunscreen on a child under a certain amount of years? And everybody's like, oh, it's bad for the skin. You're putting chemicals in the child. Let's not be retarded, people. Like, can we be any blatantly or dumb? Can we be any more ignorant to the facts that the sun doesn't cause skin cancer? Maybe it's all the shit you're lathering on you. Hey, that's just me. Again, another person that's never really liked skin or sunscreen. I've had some women force it on me, but as of now, I tell them, don't worry about it, I'll just get burned. And everybody thinks I'm crazy, but it's like, I've did this my whole life. And I'm not saying I'm correct, I'm not saying I'm wrong. My mom died of freaking cervical cancer. I'm letting you know that possibly the same people that told you in the 50s cigarettes was good, the same people that told you whenever they found that little town in the United States that had fluoride naturally occurring in the water, and they went to the dentist, and the dentist seen all these nasty spots, but hard-ass enamel, the government took that study and said, not fluoride will ruin your teeth in a molecular level and change them and make them bad, it also hardens enamel. The government took that and said, fluoride hardens enamel. Do you know the cannabis studies that were going on in America? Um, they said, we're going to prove this is bad. We're going to say you smoke a joint a day. We're going to take 30 joints, take that smoke, combine it, put a mask on a monkey, and suffocate it. There's a lot of people that go, oh, that didn't happen. Oh, you can't disprove it because it happened. There's a lot of stuff that is being covered up. Do you know pre-flood world is true? Do you know that a great flood did change the planet? And it's noted. It's like documented. It's also documented that before the flood, there's about 8 families that ruled for about 25,000 years. It seemingly runs congruent with the Bible, in my opinion. As not a philosopher, well, actually, in this day and age, you can be a theoretical whatever you want to. There's a fucking kid going around saying he's a theoretical. I'm a theoretical fucking millionaire. Watch your money, because I tend to get it. You know, none of this makes a lick of sense. None of this. The more people talk, the more people do. When Dennis Rodman went to fucking North Korea, I knew something was crazy. I was like, you can tell by how that man is and just how he is, and especially watching the CNN interview I watched, he cried on it. I'm another one of those people. It takes one conversation. It's not due to my past. It's due to the future of this planet that brings tears to my eyes. And it does. It hardens me and it softens me all in the same time, because it makes me grovel at the thought of what's been allowed, and then it makes me just furious in the thought that these people are still attempting this. People like me will have to be killed for this agenda to work. And I call it an agenda. That's what this is. An agenda. The UN summit that came out, or whatever, their plan, the UN, whatever you want to call it, that's Agenda 21. Like, if you read one and read the other, it's like, oh, you had some layman almost type it up. You didn't want it to be too technical. People, world, YouTube, fellow patriots, fellow liberals, I do consider myself a liberal patriot, and a lot of people will look at me and go, what? I'm conservative in a very few things, but that's it. Like, I am more so one of those people that we need abortion. Why? Because most of these motherfuckers don't have a clue what's going on. I have a kid's mom that has 4 kids, 4 dudes. And guess what? She ain't got none of them. I got my son. I have too many people that work in the education properties. Like, and everyone tells me it's a common theme. Every year, it seems like the kids before were told what the other kids did, and they one-up them. That's all we're doing is one-upping. All we're doing is one-upping. What if the facts are that maybe we're just not raising humans? Maybe we're just raising things that are allowed to do whatever they want to. We have laws that forbid people from buying cigarettes under the age of 18. Why? Because it kills you. Alcohol, 21, same thing. Handguns, you got to be 21. In every state, you can't, there's no roundabout way of that. If someone grandfathers a young kid a pistol, that pistol cannot be put in that kid's name until he's 21. Why? Because legally he can't own it. His parents can, but he can't. And these rules apply. There are systems in place that do and help and are purposeful right now, but they're not being followed. And that's what's really, really saddening and really disheartening, is the fact that we have people saying, this isn't going to work, this is garbage, this is that, whenever they're fighting one system. They're holding the cabinet doors closed so nobody can eat, and then complaining about no food. If this doesn't make sense, this is the death throes. We are standing on the head of the fucking globalists right now, because the whole world is changing, and it will continue. It will not stop. We will prevail. And it's not so much prevail, because in the end, even if World War III be fought with bombs, World War IV be fought with sticks and stones, I believe that more so ever because this is a war on words, people. You should try to have a conversation with me. Have a great day and be blessed. Thank you.